All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm not there. I've got a sick kiddo. So, not this one. He's fine. Okay. But I still want to continue on with our lessons for today. So, the first thing that I wanted to do with you, real quick, is that I wanted to just do a quick review of what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we talked quickly about changing the standard form to slope-intercept form. And so we've got the slope-intercept form, and we simply just moved things around. We moved our x to the other side, and then we went ahead and we divided with whatever coefficient was next to the y. But we had to make sure that we not only divided we divided both numbers on the other side and to get our slope-intercept form. So that was our first part of yesterday. Our second part of yesterday was when given a point and given the slope, how can you create a slope-intercept equation? And so if you recall, what we did is we plugged in the slope, we plugged in the point, we found out what b is, and then we plugged it into our slope-intercept form. Now that's really important for today's lesson because we're going to have to use that and incorporate it into today's lesson. So today, what we're doing, and you should have out your notes right now, and if you don't have out your notes, please get them out. Oh, we also talked about our specials. Remember, our specials, our horizontal line and our vertical line, they don't necessarily have the slope-intercept form, but instead they've got the equation for a horizontal line will say y equals, and the equation for a vertical line will say x equals. So today's lesson. Today's lesson talks about, can we create our slope-intercept form when we're not given the slope, we're just given 2 points. And if you think about it, I want you to pause it for a second and think, if I'm not given the slope, can I find the slope? And how can I find the slope? So if we know how to solve and put it into slope-intercept form, if I'm given the slope and a point, all I'm really missing here is the slope. So the first step, when given 2 points, the first step is to find the slope. And I do want you to make sure that you are taking down these notes as I'm putting them up. So if we want to find the slope, we have to use our slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if you recall, our y1s and our x1s and our y2s and x2s, it's just simply a way of saying, hey, these numbers are coming from this ordered pair and these numbers are coming from this ordered pair. So we've got that. So it's simply a matter of plugging into this formula. While I plug into this formula, I take my y2, move it over, and I take my y1 and move it over. I take my x2 and move it over, and my x1 and move it over. And then I simply solve this problem. And I do -1 minus 1, -2 minus -3. And I get 2 over -1, which equals -2. All right. Now that I have my slope, if you think about it, and you go back to yesterday's lesson, I have a slope and I have points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a point, whether it's from my 1s or my 2s, and I'm going to use my slope and a point and plug in and solve. Okay, Emmett, you can't do that right now. Why? Because they have to learn. So hold on. All right, so what I'm going to do is I go ahead and I plug into my slope-intercept form and solve for b. So I use my 0.2s. Oh, I did something wrong there. That should be a negative. No, I used my 0.1s. I lied. I'm so sorry. I used my 0.1s. It honestly doesn't matter. You just end up with a little bit of different numbers. So I used my numbers from the 1. And I have 1 equals negative 2 times negative 3 plus b. I simplified it. And then I went to solve it by subtracting 6 from both sides. And I got b equals negative 5. Once you have that, now I have my slope, I have my b, so therefore I can write in slope-intercept form. In my face, there we are. So I get y equals negative 2x minus 5. The negative 2 came from the slope that we found, and the negative 5 came from the b that we found. So really it's a matter of find the slope, plug things in, get your slope-intercept form. So that's when you have 2 points. If I was given just a point and the slope, I would simply just start at step 2. But here I'm only given the 2 slopes. So let's try another one. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker through. But the first thing, I need to find my slope. So I go ahead, I find my slope. I do negative 10 minus 2 over 5 minus negative 1. I get negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2. So my step 2, I plug it all in. I again used my first set of ordered pairs. I think I did that for all 3, but really it doesn't matter which one you do. It still works out. I go ahead, I start solving. I have 2 equals 2 plus b, which means that b is equal to 0. So what does that mean when b equals 0 in my slope-intercept form? Well, that simply means I don't have a b. So it's just y equals negative 2x. And for our last one that we're going to do here, I got to figure out my slope first. I do negative 3 minus 0 over 6 minus 3. I get negative 3 over 3, which is negative 1. So here I want to make sure that we understand. So when I go ahead and I solved, and I figured out, go ahead and I solved b equals 3. So my slope is negative 1. So what I want you guys to understand is that because slope is negative 1, I actually don't have to use that 1. And so therefore when I plug it into my slope-intercept form, it's just negative x. So therefore my slope-intercept form is y equals negative x plus 3. And that's about all we're going to do today. So this is our second part of slope-intercept form. If you have any questions, I want you to go back, rewind, kind of go through the steps that I did, and see how you can apply it. And the sub has the worksheet that you'll be working on. That worksheet's going to be homework, so make sure you get it done. If you finish early, you can go ahead and work on your Alex topics. All right, have a good day, guys. Can you say bye, Emmett?
Bye.
Say have a good day.
Have a good day.